What will you learn today? Today we'll learn about historical development of professional teaching in the Philippines from pre-colonial to post-colonial period. What are the historical events that helped shape Philippine education? And what are these historical events that contributed to the professionalization of teaching in the Philippines? These are the two questions that you will answer in this video. And let's get started by revisiting pre-colonial Philippines. Pre-colonial period. Education was informal, with more focus on vocational rather than academic training. Fathers taught their sons fishing, hunting, trading, combat, while mothers taught their daughters domestic skills such as cooking, farming, handicraft, and weaving. Scholarly records point to the existence of a political, religious, and educational system in the Philippines. And, contrary to some popular belief that our ancestors were illiterate, records show that they already made use of baybayin, a writing system which they used for day-to-day correspondence, record keeping, and even for recording literature. Aside from baybayin, they also learned reading, writing, and arithmetic, as well as art, literature, trading, religion, music, and their beliefs and customs. The goals of education were teaching of life skills, training of children to become good husbands and wives, and transmission of beliefs and traditions. When Ferdinand Magellan arrived in the Philippines in 1521, it ushered in a new political era for the Philippines. During this time, the Philippines underwent major changes in its political, religious, and educational system. Spanish occupation. The Spanish conquistadores embarked on an expedition with three goals, or the so-called 3 Gs, in mind: God, glory, and gold. The Spaniards sought to propagate Christianity in the Philippines and to bring glory to the King of Spain. Finally, they also wished to accumulate gold for themselves and for their country. In the Spanish period, formal education was introduced. Friars became the teachers, replacing the village tutors. Friars built parochial schools and taught using the local language. The early Spanish schools were unstructured and did not have any grade levels. They focused on teaching Catholicism, reading, writing, math, and agriculture. The main goal of education was to evangelize and spread the Catholic faith. Things changed, however, when Spain declared the Educational Decree of 1863. This opened the doors to access to education through the public school system, so our Filipino ancestors started to receive formal instruction. Furthermore, this also started the training of teachers in the Philippines. The Educational Decree of 1863 established at least 2 free primary schools, one for boys and one for girls, in each town. Schools equivalent to secondary schools were also opened, and these were the colegio for boys, as well as a colegio for girls and a beaterio for girls who want to become nuns. This created a free public normal school to train male teachers called maestros in 1863, and beginning 1875, female teachers were also started to be trained. They were called maestras. In 1898, the Americans formally acquired control over the Philippines through the Treaty of Paris. This treaty is basically just an agreement between Spain and the United States, which contained many provisions, including the authority of the United States to take over the Philippines, and its other colonies.
American regime. During the American regime, the first teachers were American soldiers. Then, they were followed by a total of 600 Thomasites, or American teachers from the USA. Education was free for all, and it was taught using English as a medium of instruction. The main goals of education were to teach democratic ideals and to prepare Filipinos to govern themselves. By virtue of Act 74 of 1901, the Philippine Commission established the Philippine Normal School for the training of teachers. In 1928, the Philippine Normal School became a junior college and offered a 2-year general secondary education program. In 1949, the Philippine Normal School was renamed Philippine Normal College. It offered a 4-year Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education program. Other teacher education programs were offered afterwards. Fast forward to post-colonial Philippines.
But what laid the foundation for professionalization of teaching in the Philippines was Presidential Decree 1006, issued in 1976 by the former President Ferdinand Marcos.
It aimed to regulate and improve the quality of teaching in the Philippines and lift teaching to a professional status. Teachers took an exam administered by the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Education and Culture. Passers were given a professional teacher certificate. This started the board examination for professional teachers.
And that's what we learned for today. Thanks for joining.